May I help you, sir?
How much for an order of ribs?
$2.50.
$2.50? How many ribs do I get with that?
About 5.
5? So I guess that's about 50 cents a rib, huh?
Yeah, about.
Okay, let me get one.
Right on. One order. One order ribs.
No. One rib.
One rib.
I sure am hungry.
Make that one rib to go.
One rib?
One rib. What else?
You got any soda?
$1.
Oh, come on now. Look out for a brother, man. Come on. Hey, check this out. Why don't you let me get a sip for 15 cents?
My cups cost more than 15 cents.
All right, fuck the cup. Pour it in my hand for a dime.
Look, you greasy-headed Jerry Curl Wan. Pay me and get the hell out of my store.
You got change for 100?
Hey guys, welcome back. Today is May 22nd, 2018, and happy 8-year anniversary to the guy that bought the pizza for, was it 10,000 Bitcoin? So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the first little clip, because the first little clip I just showed you at the beginning, that was us back in 2010, you know, when someone offered us, you know, to have some Bitcoin or use Bitcoin, or anyone that even knew about Bitcoin back then. That was us. We didn't want to buy them. We didn't even know what the fuck it was. Yeah, we were the Chris Rock. And then this is us now.
Oh, this is lovely. Just lovely. How much is this?
$1,200.
Great. That's all? And how late do you open this evening?
Until 7.
Perfect. And you accept credit cards and cash?
Yes.
And what's your name? I want to make sure you get credit for this sale.
Evan.
Oh, that's a great name. Oh, and these watches here, if I wanted to get 11 of them for different groomsmen, could they each get engraved individually?
Yes.
And you do that on site?
Yes.
Fantastic. Now, the groomsmen's names are Blake, Hayden, Edgar, Blake D, Elliot, Milo, Cooper. Why aren't you writing any of these down?
You're wearing Sparrow wrappers for shoes, sir.
There may have been a trade.
So yeah, that's us like now trying to purchase something. Asking so many questions, doing all this crap, and at the end of the day, we don't do shit. So anyways, anyway, hope you guys had a good little laugh. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. And hope you guys can see me there good on this thing. Now, today on the docket, I don't know, man. I'm having a lot of difficulty trying to figure out something to talk about worth wanting to talk about. We can start off. Well, first of all, the adoption. You know, where we just started off with the pizza, and where we were, and where we are today. Where now that same pizza cost $80 million or some shit like that. So. Again, hodl. Imagine 8 years from now where we would be, okay? Where that's going to be. So, that's that, okay? Now, let's talk about a little bit about the banks real quick, and like the system crumbling and falling upon itself. By the way, again, I have the camera in a different angle. I don't know if you guys can notice. So again, bear with me every single day. I think I'm gonna have to figure out a kind of a situation where I had it like always, you know, so I could just turn it on and this, because, you know, just setting it up and doing this whole thing is like pain in the fucking culo. But anywho's, like I was fucking saying, last night I went to the crypto meetup again. I go every single Monday. I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to go to next Monday. I just have a lot of shit like on my schedule, and I'm looking at this calendar right now. I see it's Memorial Day, so FYI, for you guys out there that see me at both, probably not gonna be there next Monday. Following Monday, for sure. Monday, was it May, June 1st, June, whatever the fuck. I'll definitely be there. And again, who knows? I probably won't be there this Monday. But anyways, So this Monday, it was a completely different. Every time that I go, it seems like it's a different group of people. There's a lot of the same people, but always a different group of people. This time, it was a bunch of newbies, for lack of a better term, And some of you guys might be, watching me right now. So hey. But yeah, it was just newbie central in the sense of like, yeah, I was talking to a lot of people that are pretty new to this space. Yeah, even newer than a lot of us, okay? I know, some of us are veterans. And again, who the fuck is really a veteran unless you've been in this space for like 8 years or something? Or what is it, 5 years? I don't know, what would constitute that? But anyways, it was just really interesting because I literally talked to 3 different people that came to the meetup, and they were all there for 3 different reasons. One of them was, concerned with the financial situation, what's going on. Another one was really, super enthralled with the whole idea of what the blockchain is. And then there was another person, which I think fits into most categories, which is, he was just like really, really curious about the space as a whole. And it was really cool being able to talk to all of them and, be that bridge for them to get from point A to point B, because obviously they made it as far as to want to seek knowledge. And so now, someone like me or whoever, that's where we come in and, help them, guide them, and get them to from point A to point B. Remember, it's all about mass adoption. We can't get mass adoption if we don't tell everybody about this, if we don't, bring this up all the time. In fact, one of the new guys, was pretty, he was bringing up the point of like, hey, have you guys thought about, doing these meetups or doing these things in a place where instead of paying with cash or credit, they would have to accept crypto, or you would have to force crypto exchange type thing. You know what I mean? And I thought that was a great idea. I still think we're a little far from that. We're pretty close though, but I would, I think that would be a great idea to at least kind of implement, push forward, or at least have, or, not force everyone to do it, but at least, kind of get that thing started. That's how all these things start. And again, it's like really, really great, being able to have these meetings and go to these meetings, because you get to meet and introduce yourself and really, again, network with all kinds of people from all types of spaces. And it's just this is how real good ideas and how things are developed. Again, I'm just talking about the past, correlating this to the future, meaning that this is how these things go. Okay, these are how these things are, since the beginning of time. So it's usually a bunch of guys, the smart guys, that come up with idea and okay, let's implement this, let's do that. But then it's usually people from other walks of life, like me or whatever, that come into the new space and all of a sudden like throw a whole monkey wrench in there and be like, hey, wait a minute, have you guys thought of this? Hey, wait a minute, what if we do this? Hey, wait a minute, like that. So I was myself bombarded with a bunch of ideas like that from, an outsider's point of view. And by outsider, just someone that's not in this space 24 hours a day. And it was just really cool. It was really awesome. It was amazing, and it was great. Now, that was the meeting. And again, I implore you guys to, look within your communities and see if there's any crypto meetups. And if there isn't any crypto meetups, I don't know if there are small communities where you're from, but then, take the initiative and create one. And let's keep doing these things, okay? Because again, as another person was saying, is like, oh wow, this feels so amazing. It feels like, we were back in, other points in history, 1776, and we're all gathering in beer halls and just discussing ideas and discussing how to, topple down the monarchy and this and that and shit like that. And I was like, yeah, that's exactly what this is, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And the fact that we are all, willingly, going to these things and we're participating, and again, even with so many distractions, okay, upon us these days, we still are finding the time and creating these environments for ourselves in order to push ideas forward and push this whole thing forward. So I think, again, we're living in like I was saying before, like in a time of enlightenment. And it's like Dan Carlin, the guy from Hardcore Histories, likes to say, it's really hard or almost impossible really to name an era or a time of human existence, epoch type thing, whatever, while you're living in it. But you know, meaning like, you know, the Renaissance or the Bronze Age or the whatever, or the Industrial Age. But I really do think that we're living in a new time, and again, it's yet to be named, but in a new time of enlightenment. Okay, like the Renaissance was a time of enlightenment and a time of, again, you know, it was enlightenment in all categories, not just the arts, but of knowledge and all this other stuff. And I feel that, you know, this is our version of that. You know, the new Renaissance, the new, you know, pushing forward of ideas and art and just culture and everything in general. And this time it's very different because, you know, we are, again, a more globalized entity. You know, we're closer together, things are getting smaller, shorter, and in that whole sense. And so even though we're moving into a world of, or in a lot of countries, you know, we're moving into a lot of nationalistic and, you know, sovereign type situations, and keeping, you know, becoming more insulary. At the end of the day, as someone, you know, someone else was pointing out, and by the way, I keep just saying someone and shit like that because I was honestly forgot names. I'm horrible with names. I'm sorry, guys, and I hope you guys, you know, forgive me, but whatever. Anyway, that's my weakness. I suck with names, right? But like, you know, he was saying is the fact that, you know, damn, I completely forgot what he was saying, but maybe I need a little coffee. But anyways, but it was just great. It was just really great to be able to talk to all kinds of different individuals and share these ideas and you know, bounce them off each other and you know, be challenged and have a lively discussion about these things, because that's what, you know, that's what's supposed to be happening with these things, okay? And not just with these things, but like everything, okay? All right. So let's move on to something else. Let's move on to something a little actually, that was a really cheery thing, you know, so that was great. Actually, that was all great news. I was gonna see if I can do a really shitty joke, you know, sarcasmist, you know, hey, let's move on to something cheerier. The bank's toppling. Anyways, I guess it's how you look at it. But yeah, as we talked about before, you know, whether it was DB, you know, Deutsche Bank, or, you know, the Italian banks, or the banks in Europe, or, you know, the Fed itself, or the central banks, you know, in other nations and other parts of the world, they're all falling. They're all tanking. And, you know, right now we're living in a very precarious time because, for example, a sense of financial crisis. In Italy, what they have been doing is they have been constantly bailing out the banks. Bailing out. So once the economy crashes there, again, what's going to happen? You know, can they really bail them out anymore? So forth. You know, what's going on in Argentina? You know, they're constantly, right now, what they're doing is that the dollar there, you know, the Argentinian peso is fucking tanking like a fucking rock, like cement shoes, okay, in the water. And what's propping it up is that they have reserves of US dollars that they are using in order to prop this up. But again, how long can that last? Now we're going with Deutsche Bank, you know. Deutsche Bank is the big motherfucker, the main central bank of all central banks. And they themselves, you know, they're tanking. As we've talked before and said before, you know, there are many people, you know, whether it's a guy from The Big Short or just other people in the know that are saying, hey, short Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is falling. And again, not just short Deutsche Bank, you know, short the Italian bank, short, there's a bunch of shit. This is not financial advice, but again, you know, this is the time to do these things if this is what you do. And, you know, this is the reality of what's going to happen with every single country, okay, as these banks fall. And this is what's going to determine what's going to happen in the, you know, from that point forward. So as the banks fall, each nation will have a choice. Are they going to bail them out and continue the charade? Or are they not going to bail them out and let them tank and topple all the way to the floor? Okay? And by doing that, it would eliminate them. You know, it's all going to be rough no matter what. But by not bailing out the banks, it would eventually kill them off. Okay? Because they're not bailed out anymore. There's no more influx of money coming in. And then once they disappear, there's going to be a period where the country will not have a monetary system for a short amount of time, up until said country sets up their own central bank. Okay, like a lot of countries have done already. Okay, whether it's Russia or Iran or Syria or yeah, I know these are the enemies. But you know, believe it or not, that's what's probably going to happen in Germany. We don't know yet. Okay, but again, this is probably what's going to happen in a lot of countries. And again, when we look at Trump and we look at our country and things like that, that's what we hope to happen here. Now, if you're living in Canada, we don't fucking know. You know what I mean? Because the president there is very part of the fucking group, whatever. Anyways, and so we don't know. I mean, hopefully they'll snap out of it, you know what I mean, and then feel encouraged by the United States and also do the same thing with their system and pull away from the Queen of England, and that goes for Australia, that goes for a lot of countries. And let's just put a fork in this one real quick, because again, that's what's happening with the banking system, and right now we're in the beginning stages of they're falling, they're tripping, but it's not 100% yet. I mean, in the sense it's not happening like 1,000% yet, but it's happening. They're tripping, they're falling. It's any day now. And again, once the one falls, its dominoes are all going to start falling, and then once they start falling,
oh yes, oh yes.
these are the decisions that each country is going to have to be making all around the world. Now, so again, putting a fork in that, we're done with the banking situation up until more things happen. Okay, right now, as we know, we're in manipulation city. All we can do is just brace ourselves. Okay, so let's just switch real quick to another subject. The whole thing with Venezuela. Remember, we're talking about the whole central banking. So like Venezuela, they themselves, have tried to create their own currency, to circumvent the dollar and do everything humanly possible, setting up their own bank, repatriating gold, having to respend gold, everything. So some guy I was listening to made up a good point about the petro, not the petrodollar, the petro, what the fuck is it called, man? The fucking the Venezuelan Petro Coin, the Petro Coin, about the Petro Coin. And the point he was making, and again, this is something that I had in mind and I had whatever, but it wasn't really until he, put it together, shit. And it was really more the fact that, why they created the Petro Coin, and I think I had said this before, but it was really just to circumvent the dollar. Because they need a medium of exchange, okay, that they can use with other nations, all right, in order to give value to their natural resources so that they can finally get real value for their gold, for their oil, and for every other resource that they produce as a nation, okay? As opposed to getting, dollars or overinflated, currency of their own and all this other stuff that, again, they're being forced to, create, create a product, okay, for $100 cost and then sell it for $80 cost, $80. So it's like they're at a net loss of 20. So because of, what the U.S. is doing with their currency and all these other things, they're forcing the nation into that kind of a situation. So by them creating this thing called the Petro Coin, it's their hopes of stabilizing their currency and stabilizing their situation there so that they can trade with other countries, have some sort of stable something so that they can give to their citizens and so forth and so on, and have the whole thing stabilize, okay? Because apparently they're not they just can't use their own currency because, again, it's just being heavily manipulated by outside factors. So by them creating this new situation, a currency on the blockchain that would just be for international trade and just large movements of kind of things. And we gotta remember everything on the blockchain, and this is not any different, is transparent and immutable. So we might have been making fun of it, we might have not really understood the whole Petro Coin thing, because again, we understand that none of these things should be backed by anything, okay? But when you really start analyzing things a little bit, it's like, well, no, this actually does make a lot of sense, because this would be the way in which a nation, okay, would be able to issue out a currency and at the same time be accountable for it, okay, by the public and by the people, okay? and there's no way that they can, again, we got to keep close tabs on these situations as they develop. But as long as they don't develop a way to print these coins into death, then and as long as they follow the same kind of blueprint as like a Bitcoin, with a finite amount and all these other factors into it, then yeah, we might be able to create these for nations. And again, not that this is going to replace the fiat and then this is what people are going to use and this and that. No. We have to remember, go back to that Mike Maloney, okay, first few episodes, as to what money and what currency is, okay? They're two completely different things, and we get it confused all the motherfucking time, okay? And
one of the reasons that we are in the financial mess that we are today globally is that people do not understand the difference between currency and money. Currency is a medium of exchange, a unit of account. It is portable, durable, divisible, and something called fungible. Fungible means that each unit is the same as the next unit. A dollar in my pocket buys the same amount as a dollar in your pocket. Money is all of those things plus a store of value over a long period of time. Even financial planners, bankers, your accountant, they don't understand the difference between currency and money. The currency in your pocket is a medium of exchange. It's a unit of account because it's got numbers on it. It's somewhat durable, it's portable, it's divisible in that you can make change, and it's fungible. A dollar in my pocket buys the same amount as a dollar in your pocket. But because governments can print more and more and more of it and dilute the currency supply, it's continually transferring wealth out of your pocket, out of your bank account, to the government and to the banking system. The reason that gold and silver are the optimum form of money is because of their properties. It's an easy medium of exchange because gold and silver store a large amount of value in a very small area. It's a unit of account. Pure gold has the same value all over the planet. So an ounce of gold buys the same amount here in Egypt as it would in China or in the United States. It's durable. The same gold that Egyptians were using in trade 5,000 years ago is still here with us today. It does not corrode. It's divisible. You can make change with it. It's very portable. You could use something like oil as money. It's just that you can't carry around a barrel of oil on your back. It's fungible. Pure gold is the same wherever it is on Earth. Pure silver is the same wherever it is on Earth. It's limited in quantity. That's the reason that it maintains its purchasing power. Governments cannot print it. Over the last 5,000 years, only gold and silver have maintained their purchasing power. There have been thousands upon thousands of fiat currencies, currencies that are unbacked by gold or silver, and they have all gone to zero. It's a 100% failure rate.
What all these things are is that they're currency, okay? And what currency is a middleman of forms of exchange, okay? So, real simple. Venezuela has oil. China has computers. Venezuela wants computers. China wants the oil. They want to trade. I hope I said it right. But anyway, you know what I mean. Oil for computers, okay? And at the end of the day, China doesn't want the Venezuelan Petro Coin or Venezuela, money. And, Venezuela might not necessarily want their money and that whole thing. But they need something in order to exchange, okay? So something is created which both parties equally agree has value, aka it's usually gold, okay, something like that. Anyway, and then that is what is used in order to create the exchange. All right. So think about this, okay? That Petro coin, okay, that Petro coin is not really valuable to anyone but Venezuela, okay? And it's a little complicated, but it's not that complicated. It's just something that it's like their version of an IOU, and they're knowingly telling everyone that it's not really worth anything. It's just, again, a medium of exchange, that type of thing. That's it. So how the Petro coin would work is exactly how pretty much everything else would work, but without, you know, how the fiat dollar would work, only without the fear that it would be overly printed into death. Meaning that, look, the problems that we have with fiat currency is that there's no real value to it, because the reality is that we can just print and print and print. And actually, by we, I mean the United States of America, and just print it and print and print into oblivion. All right? And by creating a real currency that cannot be printed into oblivion, will automatically give it respect, will automatically give it value, and give it all of these things around the world, because they know that they are, that, you know, the country of Venezuela, for example, is creating something on the blockchain, and a coin, something that cannot be again fucked with, like a dollar, like a yuan, like anything like that. So if, in fact, if anything, I feel like, you know, they might be pioneers in a weird way. I know it sounds crazy, and they're actually pushing this envelope forward for, you know, having countries, you know, having their own currency, not just a digital currency, but one on a ledger, one that is immutable, and one that, you know, people can actually trust for once. Okay? And I saw something on, this is how I'm going to end it today. I saw something on Twitter. I don't know who, some other YouTuber, some other whatever, vlogger, or I don't even know if they're blogger, anything. And they were talking about saying like, oh, a big announcement on the show today, where, you know, we announce a nation that is going to have their own cryptocurrency, their own this. And so I looked at that, and, you know, I had a little couple things churning in my head, and again, I'm just thinking about it right now, and I'm like, well, why? I mean, I don't know how the story is going to be. I don't know who they're going to talk about. I don't know what country. I don't know whatever. I don't even know who the fuck it is, and if I can even find it. But the point I'm making is that, you know, it didn't seem like that was being made fun of at all. In fact, I was like, oh wow, look, cool. But yet, look at how Venezuela and their situation is being made fun of. Okay, so come on, guys. You know, we have to open up our minds, expand, you know, what we know, and not trust, you know, hearsay. You know, really go out there and do some of that research and do some of that work. And again, this, you know, I say this all the time, but this, you know, and again, why I'm kind of like, you know, protecting Venezuela a little more than usual here. And again, I always do it. They're my brothers. I'm Cuban, so whatever, dog. You know what I mean? Venezuela, dale, hermano, pa arriba, pa adelante, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I'm not Venezuelan, I'm Cuban. But anyway, the point I'm making is that, you know, they had elections again in Venezuela. And again, think of whatever the fuck you want to think of, okay? But, you know, their elections over there are really tight, really whatever, okay? The people really love, you know, the whole voting and that whole situation. But anyway, look, the point I'm making is that this guy got reelected, Maduro, okay? The same guy that did the Petro Coin, the same guy that's in charge, the guy that's, you know, took over Chavez, you know, the guy that was constantly being made fun of. That guy got reelected by unanimous popular vote, okay? By his own fucking people. And the G20 summit, okay? They came out and then all the nations, you know, supported that whole deal, you know, saying that they back up the people electing Maduro again in Venezuela, except for a group of 6 actually, but 5. And who are these 5 countries that said, no, this is bad, we have to go in there and take over, how dare they do whatever, how dare they have free elections? You want to take a guess who these countries were? Canada, United States, Mexico, Australia, and Argentina. Oh, and Chile, that was number 6. Chile is not even part of the G20. That's just Argentina said, hey, you guys want to come along? We need an extra vote. So 6 to 15, okay? And then the other 15, I was surprised. I don't even know about the G20 thing, but I was surprised at the nations. You know, it was everywhere from South Korea, South Africa, England, France, you know, nations that of all spectrums. And again, you know, thinking like when they were naming like the European nations, like, wait a minute, how come they didn't side with the United States? Even South Korea and things like that. So the world is changing, guys. Everything is moving towards the east. That's where the power is going. Everything is starting to crumble over here on this end, especially on our own empire. And everyone that speaks English, you're part of this empire, guys, so buckle up. If you speak Asian or Chinese, you're good to go. right, guys. Thanks again for watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I hope you guys enjoy your $80 million pizza.